Hey, welcome back everybody. Jeff here. It is Wednesday night and I've got a bunch of stuff that I've picked up over the past couple days at thrift stores and today. And I want to share, I'm going to do a little exercise with you. But first, before we get to that exercise, I want to talk about my strategies for this year. It's a lot of the same with one little addition. Obviously I'm going to focus on eBay. Got the two stores. I will probably be a little more selective and I will probably be doing a lot more lots. Like for example, I sold this bracket last night. You'll see it during the what sold portion of this video. I had 4 of them and for some reason I chose to have like a multi-quantity listing where people could choose the amounts, and the guy bought one for like $4.50. Totally not worth it. And so I changed that listing to be like a lot of 3. I actually tried to upsell the guy and nearly opened a can of worms because the guy bought the one item, saw that there were 4 in the pictures, thought he was getting all 4. And then to make matters worse, when I messaged him to explain to him and to make sure he was clear that he was only getting 1, but there were 3 more. If he wanted to buy them, I would give him a deal. I would do free shipping. And he was like, "Oh, he's like, I thought it was for all 4, which would have been a steal and ridiculous. Like, I don't know why he would even think that." But then when you change the listing, he went back and he's like, "Well, it shows that it's a lot." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the order that I adjusted. The order that you got was just for 1." So I nearly shot myself in the foot. We cleared it up. He just wanted the 1 sent to him anyhow. I mean, he probably wanted all 4, but so obviously I'm changing that to a lot. I'm going to sell those 3, and I'm finding myself doing that more with other things as I discover them, right? 8,000 listings, it's impossible to go back and change. I'm not gonna take set time to go back and change listings. I change them as I come across them or as I handle them, essentially. Like if I get an offer and I don't like the offer and I counter, and then he or she doesn't buy it, then maybe I'll adjust the price then, like when the offer expires. Like you get that notification and I'm like, okay, well, this is in front of me, kind of like on my desk thing. Let me just fix it. So I'm going to focus on that. Yeah, obviously with local, my 4 kind of pillars of my local sales are Facebook, Marketplace, Craigslist, IG, and Carrot. IG is more, I wouldn't even say it's more of a strategy. I do put stuff on there, but most of my sales come through Marketplace, Craigslist, and Carrot. And then District, 2 things I'm going to be focusing on in the near future is testing a strategy that Biff Boffo brought up about Pinterest and, creating an account, posting on there, and then directing it to somewhere. Now, I can't really direct it to eBay because I'm deleting or ending in sell similar all the time. It would be a broken link. So what I'm going to do is, you don't have to do that with District. You can think of it as your own store. You could think of it just as a place where you kind of want to put items. So I'm certain items, and I am going to be select on which items I'm putting on District for now. I'm trying to cater to a more broad kind of like focus of products. So I will be directing the link from Pinterest that I put up there to my District link. And then I also want to get a Facebook page set up. And I haven't decided. I'm going to be talking to Jack about that because I know he has one. And I don't think it's going to be strictly District. It's going to be more like kind of like all my platforms in there, but that will be coming down the road. And then Hip Comics is a website where it's a comic site where I list, but I've recently kicked down my membership level. They have different, you know, just like eBay has different store levels, they have different membership levels. And I've kicked it down because I don't get a lot of sales from there, but I do want to maintain a presence on there. I'm at the lowest level right now, and it enables you to sell up to 100 items. You're allowed to have up to 100 items listed. And really, it's more or less adult themed or comics that are in the more mature nature that I can't really sell on eBay, but I have them. You know, I've bought them in, say, collections, and I've got to do something with them. So that's what I do with that. So the experiment that I'm going to do is, as I show you the things that I've picked up over the last couple days, I'm gonna say where I'm listing these items at. For example, let's start with this. Got the Sailor Moon wall clock. It's by Bad Bunz, B-U-N-Z. Took a gamble on this because I didn't know if it worked. I didn't have any spare batteries on me, but it does work. And I'm thinking it probably had a cover on that. I'll have to double check the other ones that are listed, but it looks like there's some listed for 20, for 30, 35. I paid a couple dollars for it. I'll list this on eBay, and I will list this local. I will list this on Marketplace. Sometimes when I list local, I list them on Facebook and Craigslist. Other times I just list it on Marketplace because that's where I get the most. But again, there's certain things that sell better on Craigslist that I don't bother listing on Marketplace. Okay, next one up. You've seen me show you these Crown Royale hockey glasses. I picked this up. I recently had just basically sold out of all of these to somebody local. They basically bought everything that I had. And I found another one, which ironically enough, the only other one of these that I have right now is another Philadelphia Flyers one. So I have this, and then I remembered I had this Philadelphia Flyers keychain. So cute, right? So I'm going to just make a lot here, and it's my guess that because one of these is going to be over £1, so it's really no additional shipping and handling to have another one. And then if I find any other Philadelphia Flyer merch, I will just add it to that listing and wait for that perfect Philadelphia Flyer. And I'll list this on eBay. I'll probably list it local as well. I'll probably list it on Facebook and maybe Craigslist as well, because I have a couple listings, I guess you could call them, on Craigslist for different kind of like, I can never say this word right, Breweriana, is that right? Basically beer and bar man cave affiliated products, like barware. So I have like one post that has like multiple categories on there. So when I have to renew it every 45 days, I only have to renew one listing versus maybe anywhere from 8 to 12 different listings, depending on how many pictures. You can have up to 24 pictures on Craigslist. So next one is this Jaguar Mask. It's a cell exfoliating mask and cleanser. Picked this up for $1.50. And this is a weird one. It will sell anywhere from $5 to $30. I don't know. Like literally, I'm looking at the last closed sales: 20, 30, 25, $4.60. That's very bizarre. But I will list this on like eBay and probably Marketplace. And I think I have some Arbonne listings on Craigslist as well, so I'll add that on there. All right, next up, I've never heard of this. Zoomer Meowsies Catitude. It looks like they sell used between 15 and 20. So I'm figuring this is, I picked this up for a couple bucks, and took a chance on it. I've had luck selling kind of things like this. You're gonna see one thing that sold. What did I sell earlier? I sold some kind of like obscure toys that I had never heard of. So I will take chances when it doesn't really cost me much. And it barely will be under £1. So, yeah. All right, next thing. Barely. Probably have to just put it in bubble. I'm probably going to have to state in the listing that this is going to ship with some bubble wrap in a poly bag. And I will list this local as well. Hopefully locally it will sell. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this one. Sometimes I just can't leave something behind that I think I can make money on. For example, this. You know, I got this so cheap, and I see this antler ale. There's this stein, and I see like a little mini shot glass all the time. I think the last one of these I sold, it was like, I want to say it was like 25 or higher. So my thinking is I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna list it on eBay. I'm gonna list it local as well. And then when I see other things like that, add to the set, build up. Wait for that perfect buyer. I've got some shot glasses. They're brand new in packaging. The Cowboys are in the playoffs. I need to get this listed pronto. I don't think I have any other Cowboy paraphernalia, but there's always going to be a Cowboys fan, and you know, preferably I'm going to sell this local. I will list it on Marketplace, but I will also list it on eBay because you never know. People sometimes pay premiums for certain items if they really want them. They're really nice shot glasses. Like you can open this up. I took it out. They're really, you know, you can just tell they're really nice, high quality. But I can't stand the Cowboys. My hatred of the Cowboys goes back to the 90s when we did that horrendous Herschel Walker trade and basically made the Cowboys into the legacy that they are. So I'm always, you know, I'm jealous / frustrated, and just, yeah. I bought a Hard Rock Cafe, Kuala Lumpur. I think they have all kinds of different cities. Some cities are worth more than others. This one seems to be a decent one, but it also has some fading. I picked this up super cheap, and I have another listing. I already have an existing listing of all these different shot glasses that I'm going to be selling it as one lot. Okay, I picked up this Johnny Winter Story 4-disc CD for a couple bucks. I paid $3 for this. It looks like it sells anywhere from 25 to 30 and up. So I think that's win-win. I also have some obscure Johnny Winter. Let me show you. All right, so I've got these Johnny Winter with special guest The Fins. This was like a promotional thing at a store here in Vancouver years ago. I've actually got kind of a whole roll. I bought this lot of posters years ago, and you know, I sell these anywhere from $20 to $25 whenever I sell one. You know, part of me thinks it would make a nice little lot, but it would be hard to ship together, and I wouldn't be able to send it media mail anymore. So I'll sell them separately, but it would be a nice little lot having a poster and this. So I'll think about it. I bought this set of Mahoro Chromatic. This is the complete lot. Now, I paid up for this. I paid $25 for this, but I've seen it sell for over 120. And they're basically in perfect condition. I only bought them because the whole set was there. And they're flawless. They're all first prints. The CD, the Johnny Winter CD, I'm only going to list that on eBay. Yeah, just only going to. And this, for example, I'll list this on eBay, and I will list this on Marketplace, Craigslist, maybe District. Maybe not. This might be too obscure. I don't really, you know, given that there's not a massive amount of buyers on that platform right now, I'm trying to keep, like I said, the things that I sell pretty broad. All right, we're getting down. There are only a couple, maybe 5 or 6 things left. I picked up a couple of VHSs. Nothing special about these, other than they're, you know, Pinocchio, Cinderella. They're brand new. I am a sucker for certain kinds of sealed VHS, so yeah, I only paid $1 each for these. A couple backpack, and I'll list those only on eBay. My Hero Academia, I'll list this on eBay and Marketplace. It's pretty much brand new, no tags. I won't list it like that, but it's very high grade. It's a franchise that will sell. I'll list that on eBay and Marketplace. Bat Maru. This is a character that a lot of people really are fans of. I try to, anytime I see stuff like this, like kind of like things that Sanrio, the Japanese company, makes, I'll list this. I might even have something that I can lock this up with, like this. And the same thing with this Pom Purin. I don't know if I'm saying that right. This is brand new with tags. I know that I have other stuff with this. I'll probably add these to an existing listing to make that listing more appealing for somebody who is a fan of these characters. I will list. This will only go on eBay. If it was brand new, I might list it on Marketplace, but and it's fairly light, and I know that I have other stuff, so I will list. If I don't have anything else, I'll list it on eBay, and then I will maybe list this on Marketplace as well. This will be on eBay and Marketplace as well. And then I just thought this was, you know, there's always going to be a Star Wars fan, and I just thought this was really cute. Again, very, very high grade. It still has this on it. I mean, does that mean it was never used? Possibly. Does this mean maybe it had a tag on it that fell off? It looks brand new. There's nothing wrong with it. It's actually quite light. This will be under £1. So I'll list this on eBay, and I will probably list this locally as well on Marketplace. I think I have a listing on Craigslist that has bags. So maybe I will end up listing all of these on Craigslist as well. And then only a couple more. All right. This is pretty cool. So I recently just sold a graphic novel by Peter Rieck, R-I, how do you say his last name? R-I-C-Q. ICQ. That was any of you guys remember ICQ back in the late 90s? Maria and I would communicate on that. Remember the flower would light up when you come online? I don't know. Leave a message if you remember ICQ. It was pretty awesome back in the day. Anyhow, Peter Rieck did this. I've met this guy. He's awesome. He's also in the band Humans and Gangland, Gang Sign, and they're just amazing. Both of those bands. So I'm a huge fan of him. He's super talented. Now this is the Kickstarter edition. So this is technically the first print, and it is signed with a little sketch in it. Now, so it's got like a little sketch. Now, if you type in Once Our Land Kickstarter, you can see how many of these were actually sold. Let me just, for actual purposes. Hardcover book signed with doodle. Okay, for some reason it wasn't showing the number, but so the 73 of these were sold. Now, I don't know if that means that you know, 73 plus maybe a small amount were only made. I don't know if it was like a print to order kind of thing. And even if it was, they would have printed and probably done a little more than just 73, because he would have probably wanted to sell them locally, or, you know, do some kind of like, you know, do comic shows or whatnot. But regardless, there's not a lot of these out there. And I think this is a franchise that could potentially get developed. And if that's the case, then this is the copy that you want to own. You know, because Scout Comics ended up picking up Once Our Land. They republished it. They republished it in a comic form, But this is the true first printing, and the fact that it's signed by the League Productions is the publisher. You know, I get stuck sometimes, like in terms of like, and not so much now, but you know, when I used to at least read comics, I haven't had any time to really read or get into anything new. I love independence, but back when I did, you know, if something resonated with me and I'm like, you know, I could totally see this being developed. You know, those are books that I would kind of target when I'm at cons, like in the dollar bins, or, you know, whenever things are really cheap, because I know if it gets optioned that it's going to be a home run waiting. Now, do I get burned sometimes and I buy things that never get optioned? Of course I do. We all do. But that's just the nature of the game. So I was pretty cool. I was pretty stoked to find this. Just I think the guy's awesome, and I don't think I've ever had the Kickstarter version, so I don't even know what I'm going to price that at yet. All right, sticking into comics. This particular run of Hawkeye is probably the best. I want to show you all these covers because they're so cool. This is probably the best run of Hawkeye there is. It's by Matt Fraction, and David Aja does the art. Where's issue 1 at? It's just the minimalism of the art. Let me show you. I love this style of art. Let me see if I can find a cool page. And this is a run that I've read, and it is just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Doesn't really do it justice. It's almost a little Mike Mignola, the guy who creates Hellboy, a little bit. But and these are all. This run was so popular. So this is a third printing variant, and each different printing had a different cover. So this is the third printing as well. So that was 1 and 2. So this is 3. This is the second print. And so this was the run. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Marvel, but Kate Bishop is she plays a very important role in. So this one is this is the first print. So the first prints are always worth a lot. But also the older printings, the different variant printings, especially if they have a different cover, they can be worth quite a bit, especially because there's fewer of them out there. This is the last one, and this is just the first printing. All right, so yeah, I picked up I think there were 20 issues in this run. I got the first at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. I don't know. I got 6 total. And then the last thing I picked up is just some Indigenous First Nations art. I do well selling these things. I buy them whenever I can see them cheap enough. I don't know who the artist is yet. I'll have to see if I can do some research on these. But typically I sell these anywhere from $25 to $30. I think I picked this up for maybe $3. So, all right, that's my haul. And then I'm going to show you some things that sold. And then see if I have anything else I want to discuss. I was trying to get this portion of the video done because Maria is on her way back from Portland now, and I didn't want to have to ask her to go upstairs while I was filming. I found one more thing that I wanted to share. The Hawkeye comics I will just list on eBay. First Nations art I will list on eBay, but I will also list this on Marketplace and Craigslist. And then this is just, you wouldn't know what this is if you didn't live in Vancouver. It's a shot glass for a place called the Storm Crow, which was a bar slash. It was a bar where it was known for like playing board games. So, I had actually never even been there. Like, it was just something that we just never got around to going, but it was quite popular. And they had 2 locations. and they've gone under. It's really hard in Vancouver to have a bar or a restaurant if there's so much competition. But whenever I see these Storm Crows things, so I literally had just sold a lot of like shot glasses. There was like this tiki statue, and I think I sold it for like $100 or $110. And so every time I see these things, and I pick them up for like $1, and you know, I'll make a set of them. Partly because I just think the history behind, you know, this place is pretty awesome. Everybody knows it here, and you know, there's always going to be, in my opinion, somebody who's going to be interested in these kinds of things. So I try to, you know, rescue them from the thrift stores when I see them, and you know, set them aside and make a set for somebody who is a fan and wants to own these things. So yeah, I just got this crow on it. All right. And this is just gonna, I'm probably not even gonna list this right now. I'll probably just set it in my unlisted kind of like inventory section and wait until such time. And then I'll list these locally. I do list them on eBay, but it's gonna be somebody local that buys them. I almost forgot about what I would say is the coolest piece. Is this, kind of like, I mean, I sold something like this not too long ago for like somewhere like 80, 90, maybe $100. I can't remember. It was a Jaguar kind of, you know, it's like a Jaguar Warrior King, I don't know, wooden mask. The other one, I will say, the other one was cooler, but I can't pass this up. It's just, I think it's super unique. It's heavy, it's painted, it's hand carved, hand painted. There's value here. It's got this ugly thing I got to take off. But yeah, and I didn't pay much for it. But what do you think? Is this the coolest thing I bought, or something else that I bought that you thought was cooler? So anyhow, happy with my couple day haul, I guess you could call it. So to recap, kind of like my strategy, you know, it's more building out, continue, you know, as I build out, you know, have more and more stuff listed locally, I expect to get more and more sales. You know, I noticed the last 3 months of local sales have gone up compared to the prior 3, and you know, I started getting very aggressive with listing things locally. So it's like, for me, when I'm listing things on eBay, I'm going to be factoring in the weight. How much does it weigh? Is it going to be over a pound? If it is, it's going to go on Facebook. Is it over a certain dollar figure? If it is, it's most likely going to go on Facebook as well, and local. It's a matter of, I'm not relying on just eBay anymore, and I haven't been for a while, and it's helped with the instability of the platform, and hopefully, you know, Hip Comics continues to, I don't know if they're doing any advertising or how they're, you know, doing, but it is a slow, I guess you could say it's a slow platform as well. There needs, you know, it would be nice to have another comic related website out there to sell things on. If anybody else out there sells comics that they know of, other sites that for me, it's more about being able to not be limited with, you know, maybe certain mature or adult themes. Everything else I can just list on eBay. I'm not worried about that. And hopefully, you know, this year, me and Jack and others, we're going to be more focused on district now that the holiday season is done. But it's tough because sometimes, you know, with slow eBay sales, it's like we really have to focus on, at least right now, where we're getting our money from. So, but we do, I mean, we all know we need to have alternatives, and Mercari and Posh, for my sort of inventory, I don't really want to do that. Maybe Etsy is a possibility. I suppose I could keep my mind, but I've heard a lot of really not so great things about that platform. So it's like, do I really want to add another platform that has lots of challenges with its sellers as well? I don't really want another headache when it comes to that. So I think that's the thing. Patricia, I know you sell on Etsy. Can you speak to, do you feel that, is it a platform you would recommend sellers to go to? Do you think that it's a platform that is seller friendly and that you don't have, major concerns? I'm sure there are other people that sell on Etsy. Please chime in. What are your experiences on Etsy? So thank you guys. So I just did a local deal. The coasters that, I'm not sure where in the video, but I sold a local guy some coasters for $35, and then he ended up buying another set of coasters, which they're already gone. I might have them on Craigslist. If I do, I will include that at the end. And then the art that I just showed you, there was that indigenous thing. He ended up buying that. I didn't even get a chance to list it. So I gave him a deal on everything, all in. He was $100, and yeah, I'm super happy. I don't even have to list that piece now. He was traveling and he wanted to have something to give to wherever he is going, to give gifts from that is kind of like Canadiana, I guess, or First Nations, and so yeah, he picked that up. Now, before I flip you around and show you what sold today, and today was actually, like I said, I think I said it earlier, it's a very good day. I think I'm up to like 225 on eBay and 100 local. So, and the day's not over. It's only 8:22. So I had another incident today of a non, let me tell you what happened. So a guy he put in an offer for some comics, 4 sets of comics, the Space Alien franchise. He messages me and he goes, after he paid, he goes, "Hi, I bought 2 sets of these and I need to cancel one of them." I mean, he doesn't tell me that he wants to cancel mine, but he says, so I'm like, okay, so in my mind, I'm like, how can I get him to cancel the other one? So I say, hey, if you want to add any other books, any other comics, I can do free shipping on any singles or small sets. And I do have another eBay store that has a ton of other comics. He messages me back. He's like, oh, that's great. If you take off the shipping on this, then I'll keep yours. I then respond, shipping is a fixed cost. This item, it's on any additional that you add. And then he's like, oh. And then he was like, so, okay, I'll cancel this. So I'm like, okay. So I cancel it. And then he messages me back and he's like, yeah, I'll just keep them both. But I had already canceled it because he told me he wanted me to cancel it, and I like to take care of things right away. So I lost that sale, and it's fine. It'll sell. I'm not worried about that. But Benny, and I have some thoughts that I want to add to this, but Benny was commenting on the incident in my last video where somebody basically made an offer, never had any intention of paying because of the comment that he said. He was like, I didn't think you'd accept my offer, please cancel. So Benny says, eBay has confirmed that they have not totally rolled out that requirement for buyers to have to put in a payment method on file for best offers yet. So this is the band-aid that they give us sellers till eBay, gets their act together and fixes the issues with making buyers put in a payment on file. I mean, there should really be no issues at all. I called this out long time ago saying eBay, just like they do sellers, they make us put a payment method on file. They need to require a buyer to put a payment method on file when they create an account, period, end of story. I also hope eBay is making a message pop up for buyers who do not purchase the item immediately after their offer is accepted, that the item is still live and active and another buyer could come in and purchase it out from under them. They have also confirmed that the next thing they are working on is the same thing for auctions. Again, I say they should just make buyers put up a payment method on when they first sign up. As a buyer, you want to buy on eBay auctions, best offers, or buy it nows. You put a payment method on file. If not, you don't get to buy it on eBay. I agree with this, and I don't understand Like, I know there's an option that I deselected. Again, I don't buy a lot on eBay, so I don't know what people see. I don't know. I've never had, anytime I've ever bought something, I just buy it right away. I just buy, I put in, I normally don't even make offers. I normally just seek out what I'm looking for, and I just make payment right away. I've never had a situation where I'm waiting for an invoice. So I don't know why this should not be such a problem. It should be, if you're a buyer, your information's in there. It shouldn't be that you have to enter it again. And when I deselected the option, I felt that my sales were lower because people were not wanting to put their information in. But I don't know why that information isn't already in the account when they sign up. Our information is in there. Like, if eBay wants, this shouldn't even be an issue. And honestly, I don't have a problem with people who change their mind. I really don't. I have a problem when people make an offer and they never have any intention of buying it. Or they go out there and they make two offers on two different things, and they're playing that game of who's going to give them the best deal, and then if both offers are accepted, then they have to cancel one of them. And it's possible that he was trying to angle, and maybe he didn't even have another buyer or another item that was purchased. Maybe he was just trying to get me to give him a discount on shipping and handling. These are all games that, if eBay wants to be a serious e-commerce platform, these are all things that are pretty basic. Just make the buyer, when he buys something, either A, make that payment go through immediately, or B, if they put an offer in and the offer is accepted, when the invoice is sent by the seller, it should just automatically trigger that transaction. Boom, done, easy. And if a buyer wants to cancel, they should have X amount of cancels for a calendar year. I mean, how many times do you really need to cancel transactions? And once you use those up, if you place an order, it's coming through. It's coming through unless the seller, I guess, I mean, this is just in my hypothetical mind, unless the seller, you could ask the seller to cancel, or maybe, that's it. You just get 3 cancels in a calendar year. I don't know. I'm trying to think what makes sense, what is forgivable on the buyer side. Because like I said, people do change their minds. I don't necessarily want people to have to buy an item if they don't really want it, because then that opens up to, negative feedback on our side of it. And I don't want that. But I also don't want, it just seems like in the past week and a half, I've had like some really weird, people buying things and canceling and their excuses and just, yeah, it's a bit weird. And we don't need to have so many flaky buyers on the platform. It's like eBay doesn't, if they wanted to, they could put an end to this. Clearly, they don't necessarily, or there's something behind the scenes that I don't know and I don't understand, and maybe it's more difficult. What do you guys think? Like, I'm just rambling here. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around and show you what sold today so we can get caught up. On Maria's store, I had 4 sales. This Beyblade, there are 2 of them. I only know what Beyblades are because my youngest was a fan of these things. But if you find them new, especially this Metal Fusion line, they go for, well, this one sold for $75 plus shipping for the pair. The guy made me an offer via a message. He asked me if I would accept that. This was the other day. I said, yeah, I'll do that. And then that came through today. This Jimmy Boskill's band, I accepted a low offer on this. Like, I'm pretty much of the mind that if I'm making money on something, as of right now, I will accept, because it's like some things go for way more than you expect, and some things don't. And it's all about creating flow. So this sold basically for, I basically gave them free shipping. It sold for 12.5, including shipping. This Ink Quest magazine, this sold for this price, $22.74 plus shipping. This has anything that you can find that has Princess Leia in the Jabba the Hutt outfit. It is starting to be considered rare. I do believe Disney, I mean, I don't want to say they banned the outfit, but they're not endorsing it. I can't remember how the thing is that I read, but basically it's kind of taboo now. So it's something to be on the lookout for. This is an old magazine from the 90s. It was still sealed. And then I sold this button. This was sold for $16.50, including shipping. Boycott the it's Canadian Union Postal Workers button. I noticed a guy who purchased it is from Vancouver, and he works for the post office based on his eBay username. On my store, this Father Ted DVD sold for $11 plus shipping. I've never heard of this toy. I was out searching at a thrift store that I rarely ever buy anything at. Screecher's Wild Spike Stripe toy car vehicle is what these things sell for most of the time above 40. This one sold for 45 plus shipping. I paid up a little bit for it. I paid $8 for this, but I didn't know, but based on the comps, I felt comfortable that I would at least, 4 or 5 times my money on this. And I thought it was worth it. So bought that. This was the Aliens books that I told you. Actually, this has, I don't want to show you the eBay buyer's username. Full House, this sold for, it did sell for $16.83 plus shipping. I did pull up the Aliens just because you can only really see the one. It's pretty awesome artwork if you ask me, but these were, I think these don't have any kind of like small print runs or anything, but Aliens, always going to be an Aliens fan out there. This is JJ Lin. Now, what prompted me to look at this is this one is sealed. I saw this at a Value Village, and what I did was I looked up JJ Lin to see how his particular music, DVD, CDs are selling. If there's a lot selling, that tells me that there's a lot of demand for it. And I saw it was pretty decent. And it was, then I also saw, so that was that one. That one's Sixology. That one was sealed. And then there was this other one that has like a CD, DVD. It's got a bunch of stuff in there. And I was able to pick them both up for $5. And they sold for $75 plus shipping. I accepted an offer. It was a very reasonable offer considering it was only at $80. So I consider that a bit of a win. And that's kind of obscure stuff. It's it's not a lot out there. And then the only other thing that I sold so far, this was those those things where there was like a 4 quantity available and the guy bought 1. The reason it's showing this is because I've changed the listing. Complete horrible sale at $9 shipped for one of them. So yeah, that's everything that sold today. A local sale, another set of these 6 coasters that I picked up a while back. So far I've sold 2 of them, each of them $35 for a set of 6. Joe Wilson is the artist, if you're wondering. Yeah, I think these are pretty awesome. So Mike Tudor says, when a company adds the shipping fees and taxes to their gross merchandise value, eBay announced this back in 2021, that's not a good sign. And he also says that eBay was removed from the NASDAQ 100. I did cover that. I do agree that's a very negative thing for the company. And Mike mentions that Jim Cramer says that eBay is done. I don't really listen to a lot of what Jim Cramer says, but I did catch that. But does anybody know why when when a company adds the shipping and taxes fee to their gross merchandise value, that's not a good sign? Like, I don't disagree with that. I just want to know if somebody smarter than me knows, kind of like the theory behind that. Is it just because they're trying to inflate their numbers? I am a pure technical chartist. I don't actually know a lot about the fundamental stuff because I believe everything is already baked into the stock price. But I would be interested to hear somebody who knows more about the fundamental aspects of stocks as well. Sorry, I didn't write the name down, but somebody left a comment saying a friend's girlfriend who knows I sell books gave me a pile of books that her daughter had given her. The books were all on relationships, novels, and romance books, but that they were all in almost new condition and from 2021 to 2023. At first, I thought they had no value. Then, surprisingly, the newer relationship books had twice as many sold as listed. And in 2 weeks, I had sold or taken offers on almost all of the ones that I had listed for 10 to 20. But how to find newer, recently published books that are in demand? Now, I responded to that, and I'm interested to see if anybody else can add to this. For me, the couple of things that came to mind is to search the sold in the categories of the books and the subject matter of the books that you just sold, using keywords describing those types of books. And I asked him if he wanted to share a few of the books that sold that he, not that they're bolos or anything, but they are, books to be on the lookout for. And then maybe you can find some other sellers who are selling those same books and then look at what those sellers are selling, especially if they're niched down. They might be selling other decent books with a high average selling price. So those are some of the ways that I would go about doing that. Anybody else have any other suggestions? Life is Short says, I can see why eBay has lost market share. Most people describe eBay as clunky and outdated, the equivalent to retail stores like Montgomery Ward, Sears, etc., that was operating the same way eBay is currently. Eventually, these large profitable companies went out of business. It will be interesting to see if eBay follows suit because of upper management's failed to navigate their company into relevancy. I have opinions. I have thoughts. Do they mean anything? No. I don't think eBay is necessarily going to go the way of Sears. I've joked about it in the past. I remember I had a thumbnail with a Sears button in it. I'm definitely concerned about the direction, and I'm concerned about the lack of communication. I think things would go a lot smoother if eBay actually communicated what they wanted from the sellers instead of just kind of leaving us to figure it out. I also think that there's so much potential with eBay. The brand alone, I think there's a disconnect between who they are as a company and who they want to be potentially. eBay is eBay. They're not Amazon. They're not Shopify. eBay is eBay. eBay is the place where you go to find unique things, in my opinion. And I don't think it's easy to just change your identity, especially when you're a company that big and that company is made up of hundreds of thousands of sellers. So I think ultimately there's an identity crisis, and I think that could be just simply part of one of the reasons that eBay's not doing any advertising right now, because they don't know how they want to. You got to have an angle when you're advertising. You want to be narrow focused, and eBay is all across the board. On some level, you shouldn't really even have to advertise. Everyone knows who eBay is. Like, I literally was just watching The Office the other day. I mean, I think eBay has been mentioned at least 2 or 3 different times in The Office. That's advertising. But at the same time, I think we've felt the ripple effect of no advertising this year. So I don't know what to think, you know, like, yeah, I don't know. These are just me, my random thoughts of consciousness here. Let me know what you guys think about anything I talked about in this video. I think I'm getting close to wrapping this one up. Maria just got home, and I'm gonna end it. And if I'm probably not gonna edit it until later, so I reserve the right to add something at the end. But if you've enjoyed this, please click that like, subscribe, to all the things to feed that YouTube algorithm. And peace and blessings to you all, and we will talk to you guys soon.